All right, I think I'm live now, and I just hope that you guys will be able to hear me clearly. Mm. All right, as usual, if you can hear me, just let me know in the comments. If you can hear me, just let me know in the comments. Tonight is supposed to be fast. Yeah, tonight is supposed to be fast, and someone said happy birthday Inisiki. No, my nickname is not Inisiki. It's not Inisiki. My my nickname is Iniski, Iniski. And I know some of you might want to ask me that, okay, what's the meaning? Sorry, can you guys hear me clearly? Can you hear me clearly? Can you hear me clearly? I'm outside tonight. Tonight is the grand finale or grand finale, whichever one you want to call it. It's our last night together. It's the last day of FSVE 2.0, and I just wanted to do it outside, right? I wanted it to be outdoor. I wanted it to be outdoor. I'm coming. I'm trying to share the link. Yeah. As usual, just copy the link and share on your WhatsApp status. I totally forgot about that. But I think that's something we should know already. So just copy the link and share on your WhatsApp status. As usual. As usual. And I think I should say this, that for those of you that missed any session, if this is your first time joining FSVE, I'm still going to say this again, but I think I should say this, that you can still, and you should still ensure that you go over all of the previous sessions. I have packaged everything into a playlist. Sorry, I'm looking here. This way your comments are. This way I can read your comment, but this is my camera. So if you are just joining for the first time or you missed any day, ensure that you go back, right? Ensure that you go back to watch the video that you missed, the day that you missed. And in fact, for everyone on this call right now, I would encourage that you go over every of those videos again. I have structured it for you to make it easy for you. So just go to this channel, Journey with Iniski, and then you will see the playlist. Just go to under playlist. Once you see playlist, I have packaged all of the videos together in that playlist so that you can just watch them again and again. You can watch every of those videos again and again as many times as possible. I told you yesterday that many of you would think you got everything that was being shared until you watch again, right? Until you watch and listen to the sessions again. That is when you now realize that you missed a lot of things that were very important. So it is very important that you go. I'm trying to share the link. Oh, come on. Hmm? I just hope this thing don't sting me. Whew. God help us. The 7. All right. All right. We are 74 already. Copy the link and share. Let's get to 100. Let's get to 100 quickly. 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 76, 76, 76, 76. Tonight, most likely we would not even use up to an hour. We will not use up to an hour because I want to wrap up as soon as possible. Even though I also want to touch on some things. All right, I think we can get started now. This is 6:07. Again, thank you so much, everybody. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. There are a couple of things I want to say. We started now. Tonight, not tonight, please. Tonight, I have a lot to say, but at the same time, I don't have a lot to say because I'm not teaching, right? I don't have anything specific to teach you guys tonight. I just want us to have like a quick recap of the sessions, and I would give you guys my parting words. And okay, before the parting words, I will take some questions. I will take like few questions because I told you already from day one that if you have your questions, you can just bring them together, and today I will answer them. So I will answer a few questions, just few questions that have not been answered from any of the sessions, right? Because there are some of you that are still going to ask that, how do you deal with LinkedIn restriction, which Blossom dealt with on day 5? So be sure that you attended all the sessions before you asked a question, so that you would not be repeating a question that someone had answered before, or that a guest or myself have answered before. So be sure that you attended all the sessions before you ask a question, so that you don't repeat questions, right? So I'm going to take a few questions, and then I'll give you guys my parting words, and we'll just wrap it up. I'm going to do all of these things before 7. We started on day 1, right? While you, as you are joining, just like the video, right? Like this video, and then copy the link and share on your WhatsApp status, right? Okay, I'm coming. Right? As you join, like the video and share the video link to your WhatsApp status. Okay. Pin message. All right, I pinned it already. So I was trying to pin it on YouTube. We are 98 already. That's great. Again, on day 1. Now listen, please pay attention. Give me your attention. It's 8:10 already, or 6:10 already, and I want us to get started. So on the first day, on the first night, we discussed that financial empowerment is a journey. That was where everywhere started from, right? That financial empowerment is a journey. And I also said that we are on a 7 days adventure, which is coming to a close tonight, right? But I told you at the beginning that financial empowerment is a journey. And one thing that is constant with every journey is distance and time. Distance, speed, and time, right? One thing that is constant with every journey is distance, speed, and time. I am currently in Ilorin. If I want to travel to Lagos, right, the gap, let me put it that way, the gap or the barrier between me and Lagos, right? If I'm in Ilorin and I want to go to Lagos, the barrier between us is distance, because Lagos is far from here, right? So there is distance, there is a significant distance from us, from these two cities. I cannot just stand up and say I want to trek to Lagos, not because I can't do it. There were many of our forefathers. Please pay attention. There are many of our forefathers that did this, right? When there were no cars, when there were no motorbike, when there were no all of these modern means of transportation, where there was just maybe us, and even those horses that were available then were for rich people. It was only people that were wealthy, like maybe the kings, like the chiefs, like those guys that had a name, like the Yaloja, those Yellow Day, those guys now that have a name in the community. Those were usually the people that could afford to get an horse or could use an horse, right? I mean, I wasn't here at that time, but that's it, right? That was the way it was. So most of our forefathers they had to trek, right? Many persons, when they are trying to travel to from places to places, they would trek that long distance. But then it's such a long distance, right? And so many times it will take them days, weeks, months before they could cover that distance. And when technology came, I don't want to get distracted because what we are talking about is not evolution of technology, right? But I'm saying that one thing that is constant when we are talking about the distance. When we're talking about Lagos, if I want to move, like me trying to commute from Lagos, from Ilorin to Lagos, is that there is distance and there is a long distance, right? Another thing is that due to the fact that there is a long distance, now time comes in, or speed comes into the picture. Speed is distance over time, right? Yes. I'm an engineering student, so it's flowing. Speed is distance over time. So speed is like a combination. Well, I can put it that way. It's a combination of those two parameters, distance and time. So we can even say that the fundamental things that has to do with that kind of gap, right, between when trying to commute from Lagos or Ilorin to Lagos is just distance and time. Speed is a derived quantity. They taught us that speed is a derived quantity, which means that speed was derived from distance over time. Distance is not a derived quantity, it's a fundamental quantity. Distance, let's do a bit of physics. I don't want us to get into that, right? But in physics, we learn that there is fundamental unit and there is derived unit. There are fundamental quantities and there are derived quantities. Fundamental quantities are quantities that are not derived. Basically, they are like distance, like I said. They are like time, like I said. Time is not derived from any quantity. Distance is not derived from any quantity, right? But speed is derived from the division of distance and time. So distance is measured in meter. It's a fundamental unit. Time is measured in seconds. It's a fundamental unit. So when we say that speed is distance over time, it means that speed is measured in meter per seconds. It's just like saying that meter over seconds. For those of you that are not like science students, it's like saying meters, speed is equal to distance over time. So speed is a derived quantity. Meter per seconds, which is the unit of speed, is a derived unit. That's like a digression. I just wanted to show you guys that I'm an engineering student. But I mean, you guys have learned something, especially for those of you that are not science students. Let's get back. I'm saying that we can decide to even remove speed and say that the major difference between that journey, right? If you are going to talk about that journey between from Lagos to Ilorin, two fundamental things that would make it possible for me to commute is distance and time, which means there is a distance that has to be covered. And I'm saying that for every journey, listen, for every journey, there is a distance that needs to be covered. So many of us will be here, even this adventure, even this 7 days adventure now, there was a distance covered, right? And the distance is like the distance from Monday to now. It's like a distance, right? And the time is how long it took, right? How long it took for us to arrive here. I mean, it took us 7 days, right? So for every journey, there is distance and then there is time. So when I say that financial empowerment is a journey, what I'm trying to tell you is that it will take time. It will take time. It will take time, and it will take. There will be a distance, right? There will where you are, the journey from where you are to where you are going. There has to be a distance covered, and for many of you, you are just starting your journey. You are just starting, which means that you have a long way to go. I'm trying to help you know that you would need to be patient. See, there are many persons that register for FSVE, and some of them were expecting that I would teach them an act that would suddenly make them millionaires in 7 days. As if I am the CEO of GNCC that is owned by Layi Wasabi. I am not, this is not GNCC. We are not promising to make you a millionaire in 2 weeks, because it is not possible to start your journey and be a millionaire in 2 weeks. If it happens, understand that that is not the norm, right? And remember, let me remind you that financial empowerment is not equals to making money. Making money is a product of someone that is financially empowered, which means that if you are financially empowered, one resultant effect of that reality is that you would make money. But I'm saying that making money in itself is not financial empowerment. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are financially empowered. Someone with the right mindset that is making money, what the person would do is think that how can I leverage on this money I am already making to be financially empowered? But unfortunately, for many young persons, this is what they don't think about. They just think that, okay, I am making money, let me just spend this money. They are not thinking that, okay, now that I'm making money, at least now that I've made some money from this thing, now that I've made some money from that thing, how can I use this money as a leverage? Because for many young persons, there are many other young persons that they already understand what it means to be financially empowered. Like many of you, I believe that every one of you on this call already understand what it means to be financially empowered. I believe that many of you, if not all of you on this call, if you've been following for the past 7 days, one thing you would know is that you already know the path to being financially empowered. You already know that it starts from being, it moves to doing, then it moves to having, then it moves from having to sustainability. You already know this is the pathway, right? So you already have this knowledge. And so for somebody that is having the money or is lucky to have asset, to have like some money and wants to be financially empowered, if you are here, you already know the direction you need to take, which means that money flows in the direction of value, right? And we don't use, if it happens once, we don't say flow. I don't want to go into physics, but I'm saying that when we talk about flow, the reason why we say that water flows is because water is not, you can't say water. Like, how do I describe it for you guys? Water is not a single thing. This is a phone. This is a phone. This is a phone, right? This is, I'm seeing a pure water here, but I'm not the owner, I met it here. But this is a pure water. But what is inside this pure water? This nylon you see is covering the water. You can't say what is inside here is a water, right? I don't know if you guys are getting me. You can't say what is inside here is a water, which means that when we say something is flowing, it means that it is moving in a massive quantity and it is continuous. If you say it is flow, it is continuous, which means that there is a movement and it's happening continuously. It is not, this is a mic. This is a mic. This mic is here. Pay attention to me. This mic is here. If I move this mic here, this mic did not flow. This mic was taken from here to here. I would have used this flat surface, but you guys will not see it. But if it is here, for example, now, let's assume that there's a shelf here, and this mic is on the shelf, and I pick it, and there's a table here, and I pick it from this shelf here, and I place it on the table. It has not flowed. And that is because this is a single unit. This is a unit. This is just one thing. It is not water. Water cannot move from here except water is contained. When water is contained, that is, it is in a container, then it can be moved. And what you move is not the water. What you move is the container. So this guy here cannot flow, but water flows. And what I mean is that this guy is not continuous. It's not. Let me speak in the language of physics. It is not a continuous. It is not a continuous quantity. It is not a continuous unit. That's what I'm trying to help you see. So when we say money flows in the direction of value, it means we are saying that for there to be a continuous movement of money, right? If there would now. For those of you that are studying economics, for those of you that are doing economics, another word, listen. We already established that water flows, right? Now, for those of you that are studying economics, I did engineering economics this session that we just ended, right? So I'm not an economics student, I'm an engineering student, but we did engineering economics. AB 306. AB 306. One crazy course like that. Now, engineering economics is like economics, but just that now they are teaching engineering students. So they are just like, it's not like it's special. There's no any abracadabra. If an economics student, you see the same thing. But then I want to pick out something. When you talk about money, you say you use a particular word. When you talk about money, you use a particular word. You say inflow. So you hear things like cash inflow. You hear things like cash outflow. Can you see that they are using the word flow again? Because when they say that cash inflow, it means that the money that is entering. When they say cash outflow, it means the money that is going. But then when you talk about that word inflow and outflow, one, is like a combination of two words. We have in and flow. Now go back to money flows in the direction of value, which means that what I'm trying to drive at is that you can make money without necessarily being financially empowered. But when we talk about financial empowerment, you would need value. Because if money flows in the direction of value, it means that it means that from that word flow, there is sustainability. It means that from that word flow, there is consistency. It means from that word flow, there is predictability. If I pour water from here, let's say there's a flat surface and I pour water from here, it is predictable that the water will get here so long as there is no barrier. So if I pour water from here, it is predictable. You already know, like by default, that the water is going to get here. Like you don't have to pray. You don't have to like see vision. You don't even have to control it. So long as you pour it from here and there is a distance, like there is no barrier, the water is going to move from here to here. So there is predictability. So if when you examine the word flow, those three things that we categorize as things that make financial empowerment, then you realize that it is contained in that word flow. Are we together? Are you guys getting me? Are you guys getting me? Are we on the same page? This is 24 minutes has gone like that too. Ah, God. Time is a burden. Are we together? So, Lai Wasabi was speaking, and he said something. He said, current what? He said current flows. He said that is why money is called currency, right? He said that is why money is called currency, because current words, current flows. So just like current flows, money flows. I want you guys to understand that when it comes to financial empowerment, where I started from is that there would be time. You will need to give yourself time, because you have a distance to cover, right? And if you are just starting out, then you need to really be patient with yourself, right? What I've shared with you over the past 7 days are not some special acts. What I've shared with you over the past 7 days are not some abracadabra. What I've shared with you over the past 7 days is something rich people know. It's like a common knowledge that is not common. And it is not common because we have a lot of people that are not willing to understand what it takes to actually make this money. And that is why we have a lot of young persons that are not, they can't be patient enough. And so many of them, you hear things like Yahoo, you hear things like Yahoo Plus, you hear things like 419, you hear all sort of things that young people do in order to make this money, right? Because they don't have that patience it takes to develop the value that can help you attract money. And the difference between you and them is that now you have knowledge, right? Now you have knowledge, not just knowledge of what it takes to be valuable, value and able, not just what it takes to build up that value that you want, but knowledge that even after you've built up that value that would attract the money, it will still take time. So as much as we already established from the past days that money flows in the direction of value, and I already told you that you can be valuable and still be broke, because just because you have value does not mean money will come to you. And I told you that is why very skilled people are still very broke. We have a lot of very creative people that are still very broke, because just because you are a very good designer does not mean that the money will come to you. You need to have what I call sellable value. You need to have what I call sellable value. And it's also not enough to have sellable value. I told you already that when I say sellable value, it simply means a value that can be sold. It simply means that a value that people will be willing to pay for, right? And when I talk about sellable value, I moved from there and said you can even still have the sellable value and still not attract money, because it is not just about having sellable value. You need to also understand the business of your skill. And I told you already that the value within the context of FSVE is skill, and specifically we dealt with digital skill. So I already told you that when I talk about value within this context, within the 7 days, within this context of Financial Skill and Value Empowerment Project 2.0, I'm saying that the value is skill. And the skill in this context is not just any kind of skill, it is digital skill. And if you've been following us, you will remember that the reason why we went specifically on digital skills because there is another side to it, which is physical skills. And I ensure to tell you that it doesn't mean that physical skill cannot make you financially empowered. Physical skills is also a very good route. It's an amazing route. It's a great route to be financially empowered. But within the context of FSVE, we are only focusing on digital skill, right? And the reason is because it is less risky. I already explained all of this. It is cheaper, it is better, and blah, 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 blah. I already explained. But I'm trying to help you see that even though you already understand the business of your skill, you will still need to be patient. I just really hope that I'm not confusing you guys. And that's why I'm trying to break it down to make it as simple as possible that even the youngest amongst us we understand, and that the youngest amongst us we don't have issue with the applicability of all you've learned over the past 7 days. Because today's my birthday, and I'm turning 22 today, right? Or I turned 22 today, right? And when I look at my life over the past 5 years, 6 years that I started my journey, I'm grateful, right? If you've been reading my content since morning, you came across my content on any social media platform, one thing you would hear that I said, and I was saying a lot, was that I'm just feeling very grateful. And that's because the things I'm teaching you are things that I had to learn from experience. You guys are very lucky, especially if you are like 16 years old, if you are like 15, you are very lucky. You are lucky because these things are things that I wish I knew at 16, because they would have made my path smoother. They would have made my path, I would have made less mistakes. There is a level of speed that comes when you are moving with clarity, and when you are moving with knowledge, and when you are moving with a sense of direction. When you already understand that money flows in the direction of value, especially when we are talking about financial empowerment, which I defined as the ability, the power to make money consistently, predictably, and sustainably. I did not even understand that there was a word such as financial empowerment about 7 years ago. And like I was telling you guys on the first day, I was broke. And I had no money. Of course, I was 15, right? I was dependent on my parent. I'm still dependent on my parent anyways, right? But I was very broke, and I was ignorant. Now, I was hungry, I was passionate, I really wanted to make money, right? I genuinely wanted to make money. I was already tired of like constantly, I no longer wanted to disturb people, right? Especially for something as little as recharge card. And for me, that was where everything started from. But I did not have this knowledge, which meant that I needed to start from the level of knowledge I had at the time. And I would eventually make certain mistakes. I would eventually learn from people. I would eventually have to surround myself with people that looked like where I wanted to be, the level of results I wanted to get. I would eventually surround myself. Sorry about that. I would eventually surround myself with these people. I did not understand the concept of possibilities. I did not understand the concept of value. I did not understand I just realized that, okay, I already had a skill, and clients, and I was getting people that were like, okay, please, can you design for me? Please, can you design for me? I didn't understand that there was something about the skill I had that was attracting them. And then eventually also, I would later learn from experience that there's something called the business of your skill. I would eventually learn from experience that there's something called branding. I would eventually learn from experience that there's something called positioning. I would eventually learn from experience that just because you are good does not mean that you would attract people that would want your value. I would eventually learn that there's something called visibility. All of these things I learned by doing. But then now you are learning it. You are learning it from knowledge. And the implication of this is that there are many of you now that are on this call that now that you've learned so much, you would feel like you already know more than enough, and you would not understand that the result you are looking for is not in knowing, it is in doing. You cannot do without knowing, but if you stop at just knowing, you would be very good at teaching. You would be a very great intellectual. In fact, I tell people that it is better to be ignorant than to be knowledgeable. Right? Listen. I tell people that it is better, as terrible as ignorance is, as limiting as ignorance is, it is better to be ignorant than to be negligent. Because when we talk about ignorance, it means I don't know. When we talk about negligent, it means I know, but I'm not doing. Or I know, but I've not really been able to have time to do. Like you have the head knowledge, but you are not gingered to do. Meanwhile, there is somebody that is just trying to figure out life, that doesn't even know these things, that don't have. It is better to be ignorant than to be negligent, because a negligent person is not ignorant. It's just that the person already knows, and so many times the fact that he knows, it feels like, what are these people even talking about, right? So, for example, now you attended F.S.V.E 1.0, right? And you learned so much, you learned so much, and now you decided, you now saw the flyer of F.S.V.E 2.0. What a negligent person would be like is that, these things I've learned, this thing, what is this saying that I've not heard before? Meanwhile, we look at your life, we examine your life, and we are like, okay, you're already fine. You in FSVE 1.0, you learn from it, you already learned financial empowerment, you already know these definitions, blah, blah, blah. What about your life is a proof that you attended this event 2 years ago? What about what exactly have you done with what you know? What level of transformation have you experienced based on the knowledge that you were exposed to 2 years ago? Because one thing about knowledge is that it doesn't leave you the same way it met you. It's either it leaves you worse or it leaves you better. When you get knowledge, two things are going to happen. It's either you become worse than you were, or you become better. Worse because there is now that when you know something, there is that feeling of, this thing is no longer relevant to me, that you get, except you are a really intentional person. When you are exposed to knowledge, what happens is that when you come across knowledge that is similar to that again, or something around that, even if you did not use the knowledge you have, you'll be like, what are these people saying? I know this thing, right? I've heard this thing before. Oh, is it money? I'm an economics student. What exactly do you want to tell me about money that I've not heard? Okay, money flows in the direction of value. My lecturer told me that. Okay. And before you can have money, you need to be valuable. Okay, my lecturer told me that. So what exactly are you saying? My EC1 201 lecturer, my ECN 201 lecturer told me that. And when I have like value, it taught me about opportunity cost, taught me about tax. I know this, I know that. Your problem is not knowledge anymore. Your problem now is that you now have enough knowledge that the knowledge you have has paralyzed you from doing, which is a very dangerous place to be in, because it will give you an illusion of progress. Meanwhile, you are not progressing. You can explain the progress of people. You can explain the transformation of people. Oh, is it not that person? Okay, this and this and that. Oh, this person, what does he know? What does he know that I don't know? Okay, this person, yes, he's making money. Of course, I understand that before you can make money, you have value. But exactly what is the money you are making off from the knowledge that you have? Fine and good. Now you understand that money flows in the direction of value, but you still do not have value. You don't have skill. You've not learned any skill. 3 years ago, you learned that money flows in the direction of value, yet you have not thought that, okay, since money flows in the direction of value, how can I have that value that money flows towards? Okay, I need sellable value. Okay, how can I build that sellable value? Okay, when we talk about sellable value, we are talking about skills. Okay, what skill can I actually learn? You have not made any level of progress to actually push you towards transformation. You just have the knowledge, and so you can analyze situations. you can analyze people's progress. But then you now watch people progress. You watch people start getting results. Meanwhile, you are at that same spot, just more knowledgeable. You don't want to be that person. That is someone that is negligent. The person has knowledge. The person already is knowledgeable. The person can even tell you word for word. The person is currently at this event now, and the person took notes. Right? Maybe the person attended this event from day one till now. The person took note. The person's note is very full. Like, in fact, if we organize another, let's say that, okay, we decide to go 7 days more again, and then we'll bring the person and say, teach us. The person can teach even better than I did. The person can teach you guys even better than you learned within these 7 days. But then you look at their life, and their life is not a reflection of the knowledge that they are teaching. They are able to pass that knowledge to people who are focused on transformation, on being transformed, and then they pass that knowledge to people. They are like a signpost. Yes, they are like a signpost. They contain information to be able to direct people to where they are going, but they themselves have not left that same spot for 1 year, for 2 years, for 3 years. That is somebody that has so much knowledge, but then has not used the knowledge that they have. So they are like signposts. A signpost, for many of you that, I think this applies to everybody, right? If you have a village, which I think everybody have, or maybe you are from the city, it doesn't matter. Wherever you are from, there's most likely a signpost that directs people to your village. So when you're about to enter your village, for example, now you see welcome to Lagos. Okay, welcome to Ekiti. Welcome to Oyekiti. Welcome to this and this place. Goodbye to this and this place. And one thing you will see about that, one thing you notice about that signpost is that it directs. In fact, maybe we should not even use that. Maybe we should use those ones that direct you to specific location. So there is that barber. You are currently in a new place, and then you want to go to a barbering salon to go and take care of your hair, and then you see a signpost. Okay, this is the way to go. Okay, it is the building and the back of this building. But one thing you realize is that signpost has been there for the past 10 years, has been there for the past 20 years. That is how many persons are. And I do not want you to leave this event and eventually go and be a part of those people. If not, you have just wasted your time. You have wasted my time. You have wasted your time. And then for many of you that would even want to support after this event to learn skills, you have wasted our investment. That is like one of the most painful things that I personally can experience. I see people that we supported 2 years ago, and I just look at their life. Personally, after that event, I went off social media, and I just came back this year. So I personally didn't even follow up, because after 30 days of listening, because last FSVE 1.0 was for 30 days. After 30 days of following an event like this, if you still do not have the wisdom to know that your life is in your hands, and the quality of your life is based on the quality of your decisions and your actions, then at that point you are on your own, right? It simply means you know what you are doing and you have a better path. Now, listen. Of course, I know that there are many persons that attend this event that would not necessarily use this event for a good cause. Remember that I told you that there are many of you that all you need from this event, all you need from this project is just day 2. There are many of you that all you need from this 7 days event is just day 3. You don't need any other day. You don't need LinkedIn visibility, personal branding. You don't need, because there are many of you that the path you would eventually follow is not digital skill, which is fine, because at the end of the day, all of us, we are on the same journey. We are headed towards the same destination, but at some point our paths may differ. So someone is going to Lagos, for example, now. And okay, let me say Kogi, for example, now. Someone is going to Kogi, for example, now. The person decided to pass through, and one person decided to pass through Osun or Ekiti. Another person decided to pass through Omuaran, that road directly. You realize that these two persons are still going to reach the same destination, but they will take different paths. But there are things that apply to the person that is taking the Ekiti route that is also applicable to the person that is taking the Omuaran route. or like the Egbe route, right? All of those routes, it is like this. It is like the same journey. They are on the same journey. And when I say same journey now, I mean they are headed towards the same destination, but then they are taking different paths. So I'm trying to balance what I said earlier, that there are many of you that eventually you will realize that you don't need every of those teachings. Maybe you already have clarity about where you are going, that okay, me, it's fashion design. It's fashion design that I'm going for. It is absolutely fine, right? It is absolutely fine. You have not, it doesn't mean that, okay, you must use every day, you must use every session. There are some of you that all you need to learn is just day 3. Understanding that money flows in the direction of value, and understanding that just because you are very skilled does not mean that you will not be very broke. And so there is a fashion designer here now that is wise enough to know that, okay, true, I am very good at this fashion design thing, but the reason why I am not getting clients is not because I am not very good. It's because there's something I don't know about the business of fashion design, that is why I'm still stuck. So I don't understand that even though I am a fashion designer, I need to brand myself. So I don't understand that even though I'm a fashion designer, there is a way I can position myself that we attract cheap clients. There is another way I can position myself that we attract dignitaries. Maybe there is a fashion designer here now that is thinking that has learned that, okay, just because I am very skilled does not mean that the money will come to me. Oh, I need to be visible. Visibility is a part of the game. There is a fashion designer here that is all you need to learn. You don't need to learn a digital skill. I hope I'm not confusing you guys. I'm trying to be as balanced as possible, so that a fashion designer that already has clarity that, okay, fashion design is what I want to do, is what I have passion for, is what I see my purpose in, is what I want to go for. The person is now thinking that, okay, let me abandon this fashion design because Inioluwa only taught digital skill. So let me abandon this fashion design and pick social media management. You may do social media management for 5 years and still be broke. Meanwhile, if you had learned what I taught from day 2 and day 3 and day 4 and applied it to your fashion design skill, in 2 years' time, you may be like one of the best fashion designers that has ever come out from your state. You need to be very discerning, right? There are many of you that all I've taught for, all you've learned for the whole 7 days is applicable to you. There are some of you that all you need is just a particular day, right? In fact, there are some of you that all you need was just a particular line. There was just one thing I said, maybe on day 1, where I said that it is not just about being in the right place, it is about being the right person in the right place. And then maybe there's somebody here that all you needed to hear was just that. That is, if you would engage, if you would use that particular knowledge, if you would engage it and start thinking that, okay, how can I be the right person? How can I build the right mindset? There are some of you that is all you need to know. If you know that, then F.S.V.E. is a success for you already. I'm saying that this is the time where you now sit down, right? You now sit down and now think and be like, okay, I have learned, and that's why I told some of you that all of you, as much as possible, go and replay it again. Go and replay every session. If you can hear me right now, I'm telling you, go and replay every session, every of those sessions. Go and replay them and just listen again, and just pay attention again, and just pick your pen, pick your note, and listen again. Try and soak it in. They are like 1 hour, 1 hour 21 minutes on average. All of them, none of them is up to 2 hours. So 1 hour 21 minutes of your life for 7 days. Just pay attention. Many of you, the direction you want, the clarity you want is in this session, but you missed it because you joined late. Maybe because you did not pay attention. Maybe because there was a particular point where I said something, but you were distracted. And so when you are listening again, you are paying more rapt attention now. Now you can pick it. And maybe that is where the deliverance you need is. I'm saying that there are many of you that don't even need all the sessions. You just need just a particular session. You just need just a particular statement I made. Many of you, the transformation you came to F.S.V.E. for lies in that particular statement. But all in all, you need to understand that it is not enough, no matter the category you are in, it is not enough to know all of these things I've shared with you. I am not training you to be a teacher. I am training you to be transformed. And it is only the knowledge engaged that transforms. Knowledge is power, right? Knowledge is power, but it is knowledge engaged that transforms. I used to say that the transformational power of knowledge is not in the information, it is in the application. Yes, that's it. I've been saying this for years, so this is not like a new statement. If you've been around my space for the past couple of years, 4 years, you would hear this, because I am very passionate about doing. The reason why I've grown this much within these past 5 years is because I am a doer. I do consciously every time. I'm always on the move. I am not just, when I pay for a course, right? I am doing, right? In fact, there are some courses where I pay for and I don't use all the courses, right? I don't use all the material. I don't watch all the videos, because there is something I'm looking for. It's just one thing I'm looking for. I get that thing, but once I get that thing, I use it. The difference between us is, between me and maybe some of you or some of persons that don't really get results from learning, is that I may not pay attention throughout, right? Depending on why I register or depending on why I participated. But I'm looking for one thing. If I can pick that thing that is like the anchor on which is the reason why I registered, I will use it. So if I pay 200K for a particular mentorship program because I want to learn how to pitch to brands, even if that is the only thing I learn, there is a level of transformation that my life will experience because of that one thing I learn, and because of that one thing that I would definitely use. The transformational power of knowledge is not in the information gathered. It is in the application of that knowledge. So the fact that you were in FSVE 2.0 for 7 days does not mean that your life will get transformed if you do not use every single thing you've learned. The scriptures was saying, and this was God. Listen, this was God speaking to his people. I know this because he himself said it. Like God himself was talking. He was talking to a particular prophet. And he was like saying that my people. He said, my people perish for lack of knowledge. Listen. My people. These persons are not strangers. These persons are not sinners. These persons are not strangers. They are not people that I don't know. These people are my people, right? He said, my people perish for lack of knowledge. And you would think that what God was saying was that these people do not know. But the interesting thing is that if you analyze the people he's talking about, you will realize that it is not that they don't know. There are many of these persons that know. The only thing is that they did not engage. So what he was saying there is that my people perish. When he says that for lack of knowledge, sometimes it is not just absence of knowledge, right? It is not that, okay, these people do not know, like nobody told them, right? Many of these persons know, but the reason why he could still say that my people perish, they are my people, but they perish, right? Because they have not applied the knowledge that they have. So these people know, they know what will transform their life. Oh, okay, do this and do that. Okay, do this and do that. Okay, don't do this, so don't do this, so don't do this. So if you do this, you will get this kind of results. Okay, don't do that. So if you do that, you will get this kind of results, right? But then they still know that, okay, they are not supposed to do this, and they still do it. So it is not that they don't know, it is that they refuse to do what they know, or they did what they knew that they should not do. Because sometimes I used to say that the quality of your life as a person is not just in your actions, it's also in your inactions. The quality of your life, many times, the quality of your life is not just in what you know, it's in what you don't know. The kind of results you will get are not just based on what you do. There are times where the reason why you are maybe where you are, for many young persons, it is that it is inaction. It is that there's something that they've not do. Why for some others it is because of something that they've done. So you can do the wrong thing and you can refuse to do the right thing. Both of, I'm saying that even though the result you are looking for is in doing, sometimes it is in your ability in not doing. I don't want to confuse you guys. Oh God, help me. So you can know, for example now, don't do this, right? Don't do. I'm trying to look for an example. Okay, for example, now they say don't steal, right? Don't steal, because if you steal and you are caught, you are going to go to jail, right? At that point in time, okay, I found an easy way. I found an easy way to explain it for you guys to understand. It's called omission and commission, right? Omission. Some people will say that there is a sin of omission and there is a sin of commission. Sin of omission is what you are asked to do and you don't do it, right? So do this, or you do not do it. Sin of omission. Commission is do this, but you do not do it. No. Commission is don't do this. Yes. Don't do this, but you now did it. Don't steal, but you stole. There is problem. Okay. Don't do this, or do this, right? Do this. Many of us can understand, right? The best way for you guys to understand is when it comes to African parents. So your mom is going out, and I'm giving this example because I can relate. Oh Jesus, our time is running. I can relate. There was one time I was very young, and my mom told me and a guy that was staying with us at the time. He said, my mom said that okay, she's going out to that we should pick beans, right? She said you people should pick beans. This was like about 10 years ago, about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 9 years ago, thereabout. So she was like, don't do this. She was like, pick beans. Before I come back, you guys must have picked beans. We did not pick beans. We watched movie until like when we now had like we brought the beans, right? We brought the beans, we kept it beside us, but then we're now watching movie. We now heard the sound of a car. And the thing is, if you are someone that is very conversant, you don't need to hear the horn from the car before you know that your mom is around or the car is already around. You will just feel it, especially when you experience it for a long time. So we heard the sound, we heard the sound of the car. We're like, Jesus, we've not done this thing. And immediately we started picking the beans, we started rushing. And then I went and take my baits. It was in that bedroom that wire that I was flogged out. The issue there, right? I was a kid at this time. The issue there is omission, right? Do this and I did not do it. The other times where your parents will send you out and say, okay, go and do this. And maybe you did not do it or you did not do it to their satisfaction. These are like two different things, but then it still produces the same result, which is either flogging or punishment. I'm saying that your life as a person, and you need to understand this, that it is not just about what you do. Many times, it is also about what you don't do. The kind of result you are looking for is not just in what you do, it's also in what you don't do. So as much as we say being to doing, I only talk about doing because I just assume that when you know what to do, you will know what you should not do. I just assumed, right, that when you know what to do, you will know what you don't do. But let me go back to where I was, that after these 7 days transformation and everything, understand that it is not just enough to know. Our goal is not just to produce people that know so much, yet they are light. So they know so much, they are very knowledgeable, but then they don't have weight. They they still do not have value, right? They don't still have weight. They just know so much, but then they are still very light. There's still no improvement in the quality of their lives. There's still no improvement in the kind of results. They've still not started making money. Not because it takes time to make money, but simply because they've not engaged what they've learned. But then I'm trying to tell you that why that point is now right, why that point is not valid. I want you to now also understand that it takes time. 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 So as you are engaging what you know, as you are beginning to do what you know, as you are beginning to take actions based on what you now know, based on what you've been taught over these past 7 days, understand that the kind of results you are looking for takes time. So do not be in a hurry. See, what you are trying to build is sustainable. You are trying to build a future for yourself. You are trying to build something that would transcend the current times, that would transcend just the next 1 year. You are not looking for something that would come and go. You are looking for something sustainable. You are trying to build something predictable. You are trying to build something that will stand the test of time. And if it will stand the test of time, then it will need to pass through the test of time. If you would ever be able to build something that will stand the test of time, it would need to also be able to pass through the test of time, which means that it will pass through time. You would need to be patient. I told you guys already that I started building 5 years ago. It took 4 years. It took 4 years of my life. 5 or 6 years ago, it took 4 years of my life before I start getting the kind of results that is admirable now, right? Okay, I posted that I got an iPhone 17 Pro Max. I posted that I bought a camera. I'm currently recording this session on my camera. My phone is here. I'm using a MacBook. All of these things, I got them this year, right? My phone, I just got the phone last month. My camera, I got it I think in January. My MacBook, I got it in February. I got everything this year. These are the things. Meanwhile, I've been putting in the work since February of 2021. Since February of 2021 till now, I have been constantly putting out myself. I've been constantly trying to get clients. I've been constantly building. It took 4 years or 5 years before I was able to get this kind of result now that seems breathtaking. That people are like, are you really sure it's graphic design that you are doing? Are you really sure that it is still your skill? People are like, give me update. I'm like, okay, this is what I know. They are like, no, give me update. They are probably expecting me to say, okay, I'm into Yahoo, and maybe I got a client, and I got one client from like UK. I used Facebook. I did this and that. I scammed this person. This person paid me $10,000. They are probably expecting me to say that, but that's not it. This is just a result of the compounding effect of consistent effort, right? This is just a product of God, very, very important, and a compounding effect of consistent effort. Even when it did not look like it, even when clients were not coming, even when I wasn't making so much money, even when I wasn't getting so much results, even when I wasn't getting so much attention, consistent results. Because if you would ever be able to get consistent results, you would need to put in consistent effort. If you would ever be able to get consistent result eventually, you would need to put in consistent effort. It is garbage in, garbage out. The quality of your output is dependent directly and indirectly on the quality of your input. There cannot be output without input. And for you to be able to get that output, it will take time. It will take time. It is not immediately you put in a data into a computer system that it comes out as output. It is not immediately. It takes time, no matter how short. So you need to give yourself time. And one thing I can guarantee you is that if you engage everything you have taught within these 7 days and you are patient with yourself enough, result is guaranteed. I assure you, result is guaranteed. It was on the first day, I think on the second day that I shared, it was on the first day that I shared the screenshot of a mail I got last year. This time last year, I was not on my social media platforms. I did not post happy birthday on my social media platforms except my YouTube. I did not post anywhere. I was just offline. And I got a mail. I got a lot of mails, but one of the mails I got from someone that was talking about the results that she has gotten. Let me try and see if I can still upload it. Okay, I still have it. This is it. This is it on my screen, right? This is it on my screen, right? This is it from Precious Ogo. I shared this on the first day. Look at this came in on July 22nd. That was 3 days after my birthday last year. And read this, you realize that she got a job based off of the teaching from FSVE 1.0 and then the support that we granted and everything. She got a job that was paying her 6 figures every month. This is just a young person like all of us here, literally. I just hope you guys will get what I'm trying to say. Our time is gone already, and I've said a whole lot, and I just genuinely trust that God will help you guys to really use these things, and that Now I need to say something. I told you guys earlier on that I was going to share the major contributing factor to the quality of the life I have right now. And without trying to sound cliche, it is just God. It is God. It is that simple, right? I posted on my status, right? Please pay attention. I'm rounding up already. It's getting dark. It's getting dark over here, and I'm already rounding up. I posted on my status, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, that I was in Uniben, and I dropped out from Uniben after 4th semester. I left Uniben. This was in December 2021, and I would leave Uniben eventually. A very tough decision, by the way, and sorry. I would leave Uniben a very tough decision, by the way, and I would decide to I would eventually now spend 2 years of my life outside school because of ASU strike and then COVID-19. And when I look at my life from since then till now, I could literally see that this could never have been just from my effort. I am a very hardworking person. Trust me, I am very hardworking. I've been designing for 5 years, guys. So it takes a lot of hard work to be that consistent for 5 years, right? I've been very hardworking. I've put in a lot of work. But then there are just some things about your life that you have no idea about. I have no idea about the fact that I was going to look back now and I would have built this quality of life as a person. When I was leaving Uniben, I was 17. I had a graphic design skill at the time. I didn't have any client. Where I was getting clients here and there that were paying me 3,500, 3,000, 2,000, all of these amounts. And I called my mom. I said I was leaving Uniben because I just look at it that the medicine I was trying to pursue can't work. I looked at my life, and what I could see was a frustrated student doctor at 300 level. That was all I could see. And so at that point in time, even though a lot happened that year, my IGMB, I had done JAMB, I just called my mom. I couldn't even call my mom, I think I just called my siblings. And I called my mom. It was my mom I called, that I want to leave the school. This was 2 months after settling in, after paying school fees. You need to know how tough it is. You need to know how crazy it is. Imagine resuming to a new school. You've paid school fees. I cannot forget the school fees was 73,500. The acceptance fee was 60,000. After paying acceptance fee, school fees, to carry a very big mattress that can literally contain 3 students. 3 students will sleep on that mattress and still be comfortable, carrying it from my village, from Kogi to Bini, and then literally paying for my textbooks and everything. And now you now call home and tell them that I am leaving. I am no longer interested. It was very tough. But I left. I would eventually leave, and it was a tough decision also because it means now I will stay longer at home. And when you are leaving secondary school, you have big dreams. Oh, I want to graduate. I want to graduate from school at so time. I want to leave school. So like you have those kind of dreams where you already calculate your life. Okay, if I go to school, I'll graduate at this time. I will marry at this time. I will get job at this time. Interestingly, I feel like all of us have these plans, but the Bible was speaking and it said something. It is not given to a man to direct his steps. He said it is not given to a man to direct his steps. What that simply means is that you can only plan. Interestingly, I'm coming. There's something I want to read out that I read this morning while I was on my way to church. Oh, come on. Okay. Now listen. He said many are the plans. This is Proverbs 19 verse 21. He said many are the plans in the mind of a man. It means even right now as you are here, you have many plans. I had many plans. But one thing I've learned now from my life is that no matter how amazing my plans were, they can never be like what my life looks like right now. I mean, right now, as I am as a young person, no matter how amazing my plans were not this beautiful. That's what I'm trying to say. My plans are not as beautiful as what my life looks like right now. I mean, aside from the shaggy of being a student and just surviving engineering, right? But still, one thing now is that based on my experience with God, based on my experience with life, I have now learned that even this current phase of my life, it is like a consolation for me that this current phase of my life, the only reason I'm passing through this phase is because there is a plan. Many are the plans in the mind of a man, but it is the purpose of the Lord that will stand. Many are the plans in the mind of a man, but it is the purpose of the Lord that will stand. And this is something I have literally watched my life. Literally, this is like the reality of my life. Let me put it that way. Literally, the reality of my life. That okay, that guy that was trying to enter Uniben with dreams, but at some point it's like, well, I got leave, and then I left. And then there was also strike, there was COVID-19. I was not confused, but I was like, now we need to start from scratch. I will need to write jam again. And the interesting thing is that I was like one of the best students in my secondary school, right? I was like we're two best in mathematics, and like one of the best student in mathematics. Like I collected awards, which means that by default you would expect that your life will continue going that smoothly, right? Because you are like one of the best students. Even lecturers, teachers rather, would have expectations that, oh, this guy. But I've learned from my life now that as much as I had plans for my life, as much as by now I was thinking I would have graduated, there is no plan. Right now, I will just graduate and be confused, thinking what would I do in my life. But right from being a student, I already have like some level of clarity now that I probably would never, most likely I would never have had if I was a graduate. The major factor that has helped my life up to this point has been God. And I've seen this in every situation. I'm rounding up already. I've seen this in every situation. Hey, it's getting dark. I've seen this in every situation. I've seen this in every season. I've watched myself move from that confused 17-year-old to someone who started getting results from his skill, from someone who started conceiving ideas, right? I started getting ideas, so now I can impact young persons. That FSVE is just a resultant effect of those ideas. It was this year when we did FSV 1.0. Trust me, I had no plan for FSV 2.0. In fact, it was not called FSV 1.0. It was just called FSVE, right? But it was just earlier this year that the burden just came again that, okay, why not organize this thing again? And you're already getting a level of result, and then try and just support. It's not that I can't use the money for something else. I have a lot of dreams, guys. I have a lot of plans. But I just thought of it that, okay, this would be that event that will set many young persons on that path again. So why not just do it again? And I'm so excited that I listened. I'm so excited that now we are here. And 7 days later, FSV is coming to a wrap. And I'm so excited to have you guys. I'm so glad you guys are 200 on this live call. Interesting, right? Thousands of other persons are going to be watching the recording, and it's just been an amazing ride. And I'm so glad that you guys are still here. And yeah, this is where we wrap it up. I made mention of the fact that the major factor of my life has been God, simply because I want you to live yielded, right? I want you to live yielded. Personally, for me, it wasn't even like, it wasn't, I'm not trying to come over as, okay, God told me to leave Uniben. No, God did not tell me to leave Uniben, right? So I'm not committed that, okay, God told me to do this. God did not tell me to do graphic design. But then I've watched my life and I know that this can only be God. This literally can only be God. It is God directing me, realigning me. Okay, initially it felt like I was confused, but even in the midst of that confusion, I could see that it was God trying to manipulate circumstances to ensure that I arrive at this point. And still, the future is bright. I say this all the time, that the future is bright. So even the best is yet to come. I still see God directing my life, forging me, fashioning my life, manipulating circumstances. Currently now, I'm feeling I'm regretting picking chemical engineering. But again, there is that consolation that God has never mishandled my life. I've watched my life, and even in the midst of situations that look like regret, where I should be regretting, I have watched God manipulate circumstances. And I am so convinced that was like a consolation for me, that there is something God is doing with this. If not, I would not even have thought of chemical engineering in the first place. I'm saying stay yielded. Stay yielded. Ensure that you are yielded continuously. And when I say yield, I mean, it could show up in as simple as your prayer. God, direct me, help me to stay yielded constantly in your plans. Constantly in your plans. I think it was another place in the scriptures, Bible. For those that are Muslims and are here, I'm a Christian, and that's why I'm making reference to the scriptures. That's the only thing I know, literally, right? I was speaking. The Bible was speaking somewhere, and it said, "The pact." No. This was that's another thing. It said, He said, "I will direct your path." Yes, that's what I'm looking for. He said, "I will direct." He said, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart." Yeah, I think that was how I put it. Oh, come on, it's getting dark. We need to go. We need to go. He said, "Do not lean on your own understanding, and He will direct your path." So I'm saying, trust God to direct your path. And yeah, I brought light, but to be honest, I don't think I want the attention that comes from this light. Literally, everybody around here will know that something's going on under this tree, and I don't think I want that attention. I need to get going. So yeah, I want to take questions now. I'm rounding up. We are already done. All right, we are already done. We're already done. I feel like there are some resources I want to share with you guys. Right, I have some resources. We're not able to like touch on some things, and to be very honest, 7 days is so short. When we are talking about financial empowerment, again, it's a journey, right? So you can't cover it. But then I have some resources that I will share on your group, right, on your WhatsApp community. So ensure either I will share them on my WhatsApp community, and I will share them on my WhatsApp status. And I may decide not to share them on my WhatsApp status. I may share them on the community. So if you are here, please follow up on the community. we are going to share, I'm going to share the link to those resources. And this will come in very handy, especially for some of you that you may not be privileged to be selected for that support. I told you guys already earlier on that I want to support persons with like over 500,000 naira, and we already established the fact that we are not giving out this money. The 500,000 naira is available in cash, not cash, right? But it's available literally. But we are not giving it out to people that we will select. We are giving it out directly to support your learning of skills. So we are going to pick a number of persons. We are going to select. If you have been participating over the past 7 days, then you stand a chance of being selected. Don't come to me and say I should select you. Don't come to my DM and say I should select you. I am not the one in charge, right? I am not the one in charge. The project manager and other persons that literally from the back end, we are going to select some of you that have been participating, you've been engaging, you've been commenting, you've been sharing, you've been putting it out for your friends to join, you've been committed. We can literally see your commitment. You stand a chance of being selected, and we are going to select like over 100 persons, and we are going to support you to learn a skill. We can only support you to learn a skill, and a form will be given out, right? We are going to share out a form. We can't do that in this live session because again, our time is gone, right? Our time is gone. So we can't do that in this. I'm not doing that now, but follow our Instagram page. Go and follow Project F.S.V.E. on Instagram. Project F.S.V.E. Go and follow on Instagram so that you'll be updated. Ensure that you are subscribed to the email list, right? In fact, the truth is all of you that are on this session, so long as you registered from the website, you're already in the email list. So be checking your emails. Also, be checking your WhatsApp community. Don't just archive the group and delete the group or leave the group and just forget about the group. Don't do that, right? Because that is where the list of names that want to support are going to be published. They are going to be published on the Instagram page, right? They are going to be published on the Instagram page. Pay attention. They are going to be published in the mails, right? You will either get a mail with the names or you will get a mail that will direct you to Instagram to check if you have been selected, right? If you are selected and you don't claim your spot, we are going to give other persons. If you have been selected, if you are selected amidst the over 100 persons that we are pouring out these funds to support their skill learning journey, to help you start out. I mean, if you are not selected, please don't feel left out. Ensure that you still take it as your responsibility to get a skill. Very, very important. We already established that use money to make money, right? So even though we are not, you may not be selected. In case you are not selected, ensure that you are committed to your own growth. When you are financially empowered, you are not financially empowered for me. In fact, many of you forget about me. That's the interesting thing. Many of you start making money and forget that there was somebody that told us about financial empowerment that taught me all of these things, right? And to be honest, I understand if you forget me, right? But I'm saying that you are doing it primarily for yourself. So in case you are not selected, don't feel like, this and this, oh, this is it, I cannot do anything. Go and be intentional. Be intentional with your own growth. Take charge of your own life. Take charge of your own life. You are you are responsible for your own life before your parents. Because however your life turns, you are going to be the first recipient of the consequences before it reaches your parents. So you need to take charge of your own life. I'm saying this for some of you that may not be lucky to be selected. Please, it is very important that you don't let that discourage you. Very, very important. Yes, like I was saying, please ensure that you follow the Instagram page. Go and do that now. Project F.S.V.E. Project F.S.V.E. That's the Instagram page. Project F.S.V.E. That's the Instagram page. Go and follow Project F.S.V.E. Instagram page right now. Go and do that too, so that you don't forget. Go and do that too, so that you don't forget. Try to look for you. This is the Instagram page. We are about 946 followers right now. This is it. I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is the page, right? Go and follow it on Instagram so that you don't miss out. And also follow me on Instagram, right? Follow in the Creative Magician on Instagram, because automatically I'll also post it on my Instagram and so that we can reach more persons. And this is where we stop for tonight. Wow. Even an amazing 7 days, guys. And every other detail about the support, how you are going to be selected, how you are going to be divided, you will be getting it in the coming days, right? Hopefully this week we're able to finalize that. Hopefully this new week, we'll be able to finalize that. The team in the back end are going to work on that. Hopefully by Wednesday. Let's see, maybe by Wednesday. I don't want to give a date, right? But then let's see, before the end of this week, they will publish the names. And a form, when your name is published, you are going to get a form, right? You will get a form, and you will need to fill that form, right? You will see there are some options of skills. Now, there may be few persons that may not find the skill that they are interested in there. See, understand that you can learn a skill and you can use it as a vehicle to learn other skills. My best friend has always been interested in coding, programming, right? But he did not have a laptop. 5 years ago, he did not have a laptop. He did not have even a good phone. He just had one kwaja laptop, like that, one small laptop, so he could not use it. What did he do? He started with graphic design. This is an example. I'm not saying you have to do graphic design. Please listen. I'm not saying you have to learn graphic design. This is just an example. I am not handling any of the training sessions. So just think of that in case some of you want to pick a training session, maybe because you think that you will learn from it. I am not handling any training sessions. We have persons, tutors that we are going to work with. We have academics, digital skill academics that we are working with. We are partnering with, we are paying so that they can train you, right? Okay, I think that's pretty much it. I think this is where we wrap it up. It's about 7:24 already. Some of you want to go and prepare to watch the final match of the World Cup. And sorry, I didn't complete what I was saying. Very important. What I was trying to say was that he learned graphic design, and now that graphic design can afford to sponsor him to buy a good laptop that he can now leverage to learn the programming, right? Can you see? So he started with something that he used as a leverage, use that to make money. So there are some of you that we can imagine that you come now and you want to learn data analysis. How do we want to give only you 100,000 naira to go and learn data analysis? All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining Financial Skill and Value Empowerment Project 2.0. It's been an exciting ride, an exciting adventure, and I'm so glad that we get to do this together. I'm so glad that you participated. I'm happy for you. Your future is bright. The future is bright, and I'm genuinely looking forward to your testimonials. I'm looking forward to you entering my DM after 6 months, after 1 year, after 2 months, and saying, Ini, thank you. Just like Precious reached out to me after a year. Maybe some of you, like not even up to a year, I think after like 10 months or like 8 months. I'm hoping that many of you will reach out to me like in the next 6 months, in the next 5 months, in the next 1 year, in the next 2 years, that Ini, thank you so much. In the next 5 years, that Ini, thank you so much for Project F.S.V.E. This my fashion design business was able to like scale. Because of this, my this business, my that business, my bakery business, my this business, my that business, I picked this particular line from Project F.S.V.E. and it transformed my life. Thank you so much. I would see you at the top. Good night. And yeah. See you again. Meanwhile. If you have not subscribed to this channel, subscribe to this channel, right? I'm going to still be dropping amazing content. So technically, we are still together, right? Technically, we are still together. So ensure that you are subscribed to this channel, because I'll be dropping out I'll be dropping out videos, and I'll try to be consistent so that you guys can actually keep drawing value. Good night and good night.